All right, Rattler Nation, without further ado, let's welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone our athletic director, the vice president of Intercollegiate Athletics at Florida A&M University, Mrs. Angela Suggs. AD Suggs, what up? How you doing?
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and
Loud
clear.
and clear.
Uh,
Awesome.
good to have you back on the show. How have you been? First off, how are
Yeah.
things?
Been pretty good. Been very busy. So
Yeah.
let me start out by saying to all the Rattlers that we owe a phone call to, know that we will call you back or email you back. We are working hard, and we definitely please charge it to just Father Time and not the fact that we are not trying to get back to you. We got a lot going on, and definitely that we are excited about what's to come.
All right. So
Absolutely.
what's to come? I mean, there's a lot of different breaking news. I don't even know where to start. So I'm gonna get out the way. What would you like to share with Rattler Nation first? Because we can go any number of ways with this one, AD Suggs.
Sure. So I think Dan Marino in the background. I'm here in Miami this morning. We announced our return to the Orange Blossom Classic against Howard University on August 30th, 2025. And for those of you that have attended the game before, the game is traditionally on Sunday, and in future years it will be on Sunday again. But our return this year will be on a Saturday, which is August 30th. So you do have a fifth Sunday in here, Rattlers, Rattler Saints, that it is still Labor Day weekend. Labor Day is on actually September 1st this year. And so we will return against Howard University. We had a great press conference this morning. Several leaders from the community were in attendance, and we're super excited about what's to come. We had several National Alumni Association presidents from the area that were here. And as I shared with them, our National Alumni Association President Curtis Johnson was here. And we said, we are going to huddle and we're going to talk about how, in addition to the game, and yes, there is a contract with the game and but we are going to be here like digging in, getting it out of the mud, getting it out of the caviar as well in terms of raising funds for intercollegiate athletics. We are speaking about a spirit of excellence. You will hear that word a lot. We are talking about that together. And when we are here, we will have several excellence related events so that we can bring back the resources to resource a spirit of excellence for our student athletes and our athletic programs. One thing I will share with you that in my comments, we spoke about how the Orange Blossom Classic was started in 1933 against the first opponent being Howard University.
Oh,
The
wow.
last
Didn't know
time
that.
and at that time, it was the Black College Football National Championship when we played Howard University and beat them to be the Black College Football National Champions in 1933. Well, the last time we were the HBCU national champions, we had to come through the Orange Blossom Classic. So that means that we had to come back. And as I shared with a couple of Bison in the room, and of course with our fellow Rattlers and leadership from Miami-Dade, we're coming back to the Orange Blossom Classic so that we can get to the HBCU National Classic against Howard University again.
Nope, nobody ties it together better than you, Angela. You tie it together so nicely. This is not by accident the way things just get tied so nicely together. Well said. I mean, a little history nugget there for those who may not have known. So that's some good stuff. One of the questions that I saw had to do with the number of years. Can you speak to any terms of how long are we slated to be in the OBC
Yes, so
upcoming?
it's a 5-year deal.
Okay. Okay. So there we go. 5-year deal. Kickoff.
Bryan,
Yes.
if you don't mind, I just want to jump in
Go ahead.
and ask the question: why was this the right decision for FAMU athletics, considering we didn't participate in it last year?
Certainly. So we speak about the student athlete experience. And to have these student athletes to be able to play in an NFL stadium, to get dressed and prepare to take the field, an NFL field, and an NFL locker room, the events that lead into it. I'll tell you that the Orange Blossom Classic for the student athletes is a first class experience. And it's something that is in a community that is full of Rattlers, but also HBCU legacy corporate leaders, community leaders, government leaders, and to be able to bring our students here. And as I shared today in the press conference, some may ask, why would you choose a neutral site? Why would you leave home? Because you know what we're doing? We're bringing the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences to Miami-Dade County. We're bringing the School of Business and Industry to Miami-Dade County, and exposure to Palm Beach, Broward, Dade, and even all up into St. Lucie and Martin County, and maybe even down into Monroe County for the Keys. We are bringing our College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, our College of the Environment, and other major programs that are in Tallahassee, of course, in Orlando, of course, in Tampa, and even the campuses here in Miami. We're letting people know that Florida A&M University is throughout this state, and that we have graduates that have gone out across the globe to become leaders. And it's so, in addition to the experience of the student athlete, it gives the university the opportunity to showcase being the #1 public HBCU and all of the opportunities that come through. I mean, there are 3 million people in Miami, another couple of million people in Broward, but to be able to showcase our successes up close and in person here in this particular atmosphere is something that we cannot trade for anything.
Well said. Well said.
Mic drop. Mic drop. All right.
A couple of questions regarding, do we know the official game time? Has anything in regards to that been discussed or released yet?
So, Mr. Fulford, the reason that we're playing on Saturday is because Notre Dame will be playing the University of Miami on Sunday, and that is an ESPN call. And so that game, and especially with the season, the coach and the Fighting Irish came from here. And so for them to come and open the season after having a stellar appearance here in the Orange Bowl, that's something that is going to be stellar. And so, as I shared again today, the world is coming to Miami Gardens for in next year, that 25-26 year. FIFA World Cup is coming next in 26. You got the College Football National Championship that will be here, as well as the second iteration of the quarterfinals that will be here. You have several marquee games that are going to come after you have Miami Grand Prix and, again, the world. So what better way to start off football season as it relates to college sports than to have the mighty Rattlers of Florida A&M on August 30th to kick everything off?
Now you know everyone is fine. I love it. I'm going to be there all weekend. So I mean, you know me. The two teams I love and grew up with will be in the same city. I can't get any better than that for me. You know that. You know now the game time and start times people do want to know. So I'm, you know,
those will be television dictated.
Okay. Television dictated. Okay, well, okay, so it'll be like that. And folks, look, Miami is going to be Miami. Look, it's not going to change. And I'll tell you, look, my sister over the weekend, she had one of these little portable fans all weekend up in Atlanta. Get you a little portable fan for it. I'm gonna find out the little place that she got it from. It was a great cost, and so if you worried about that much about the heat, because it is South Florida, so let's keep it real. We can get you a little fan. We'll be all right. We'll survive. We'll survive.
While we are the home team this year, and it will alternate.
Oh, there you go.
We are the home team this year. It will alternate.
Shade side.
But you have the club level, you have the 72 club that's on the 50-yard line, and we need to pack that out. And we need for people to come outside and sit in those 50-yard line seats. But again, that's what that huddle will be, with leadership that's here from the National Alumni Association, also Rattlers that have not affiliated themselves as of yet with the Alumni Association, other family members of Rattlers. There are several people whose kids, while they may not have attended FAMU, their children attended FAMU. Mayor Rodney Harris, he did not, but his kids did. And so we will bring everyone together that has a connection. I'm going to shout out someone from Kelvin that, of course, we'll be bringing in. And while Sam Madison did not go to FAMU, he did attend FAMU High, played for the Dolphins, and every one of his cars has a FAMU plate on it. So we'll be pulling in everyone, people like that, to come in and make sure that Hard Rock Stadium is packed out, and that also the other events that raise scholarships for students that are attending HBCUs, that we are successful in this endeavor.
And to that point, Angela, my question is there any consideration? Is there any type of game zone that may have a sponsorship, something that gets the tailgating, something that gets the people to the stadium earlier and to have an experience?
And that's what that committee is going to be about. And we will huddle people. And so those of you that are listening that would like to, be a part of that, it's definitely, it's about your community organizations purchasing group tickets. It's about your fraternities, your sororities, your churches, your corporations, and everyone else being able to share in the different, the varying opportunities that there are to enjoy the game. We were just here a couple of weeks ago for that Penn State Notre Dame game, and there are thousands of people that attend that game no matter who the teams are. That's what the opportunity is for Orange Blossom Classic as well.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well said. Well said. Okay. OBC. Let's see. Let me write that down. We got that one off the list. All right. Let's move to the next one. The next one that I think is probably the hot topic. Can you share any information on homecoming? Do we know the homecoming date? We've started to see other schools release their date. So I guess maybe let me back up. Instead of asking that, I'll ask the question, when will the 2025 full Florida A&M football schedule be released?
So the Rattler men and women's basketball programs are electric. Our teams return to Tallahassee this weekend, and tomorrow night our women will take on Alabama State University at 6:30 p.m. Come out to the Lawson Center and join us tomorrow night, and we might just have a surprise for you at halftime.
Oh, okay. Okay, look, see, there it is, folks. There it is. So, will people who are watching online on Rattlers Plus have an opportunity to take part in that surprise?
And so if we have any technical difficulties, because that's always a chance, right? What we will do is we're going to drop the schedule and any accompanying collateral that goes with that drop immediately after it is shown at halftime of tomorrow night's game.
Okay. All right, we'll cross that one off. So we know schedule drop. So possibly tomorrow. Beautiful. Can I ask about the homecoming date? Is that 24-hour wait to find out kind of thing?
It's going to be an exciting homecoming. Last year, we had more people than we've had, definitely since COVID, but that we've had in quite some time. And we anticipate that it will be the same. We have an opponent that travels well. And so we look forward to not just all Rattlers coming, but that in terms of a great matchup and a great spirited, if you will, HBCU camaraderie celebration opportunity that will be before us.
Boy, I
And,
tell
and,
you,
and several other games as well. It's an exciting schedule for sure.
It is.
for sure, for sure. I'm sitting here trying to. I'm trying. So you got to pay attention when AD Suggs talks, folks. You have to listen. You got to listen. You have to stop asking and stop typing and just listen to the words. Okay. Let me see. You guys are funny. Good stuff in the chats. Okay. Let me go through a few questions here. Let me see what I can find that you would be willing to answer. Let's see. I can't ask that one. You've already asked that. When will season tickets go on sale? How about that question?
So again, we're working through that and taking a look at it. I will tell you that there will be some changes. We will communicate that. They will be good changes, I think. Some that are able to be received well, palatable, if you will. But as we release it, we will release the season ticket packages in a setting that will allow for questions and answers. And we will have several other question and answer opportunities for it as well. Again, in the spirit of excellence, the landscape of Division I athletics is changing. If you've seen anything about what's going on with the Congressional House settlement and what's happening just in the landscape of athletics, our Division I program, when we win SWAC championships, outside of football, we go on to play $1 million programs immediately. And even in the SWAC, when we transitioned over into the Southwestern Athletic Conference, into that league, that's a highly competitive league. But it's also a league that, while the MEAC, the Midwestern Athletic Conference, is definitely one that showcases pride and a spirit of excellence, the SWAC does as well, with several more institutions that are doing very well. And so we want to be the best of the best wherever we go. Not only do we want to win with our athletic programs, but we want to win academically. We want to win any and everybody that's giving out a trophy, a certificate, a medal, or an award for graduation success rates, for APR, for athletic communications, for whatever it is. Florida A&M University should be at the table, and that's what we want to do. But that's going to take resources, and it's going to take a commitment to excellence that we have got to raise our level of investment across the board, both internally and externally.
Okay. And to sort of accompany that last question, will the OBC game possibly be a part of the season ticket package?
It will not.
All right. Thank you for that. It will not.
But
Florida Classic?
The tickets did go on pre-sale today. And for those of you that have purchased tickets before, you should have gotten an email or some sort of notification for you to get your code so that you can go in for the pre-sale. Additionally, Florida Classic will be a priority purchase for the former ticket purchasers and for our premium level investors that have been in the past. And so for our season ticket holders, and some of you, many of you may remember that the season ticket holders have always had first rights and a priority purchase opportunity for Florida Classic tickets.
All right. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. you think you kind of mentioned about the Investing in Champions going live for payment plans? Yes, no, maybe.
So we're looking at our season ticket program, and we are looking to roll that out in the very near future. We look to give you a date for when that will be rolled out by this Saturday's game.
Okay, okay, good stuff. Appreciate you, Melissa Wilson, representing the hot coming
Hey,
in.
classmate.
Go ahead, Kelvin. Ask away. I'm going through. I'm scrolling through. Let me see how many. I got people who are coming in here. Let me see. We can tell Larry Sargent's asking. Larry, it's a 5-year deal. 5 years. So whatever this is, C20. So yeah, 5-year deal, Larry. So 5 years, at least minimum 5-year deals with the OVC. Rotating opponents, most likely.
I want you to peel back the onion, so to speak, on a question that I know I hear a lot. Tell me about your philosophy when you building the football schedule, both in terms of conflicts or working with the administration at FSU, as well as the guarantee game versus home game stuff.
Sure. And so, and looking at that, again, it's about the student athlete experience first. It's not. Once upon a time, and I'll just be very candid, I looked at it when I was here the first time where, okay, every child or every family, when you go to the Pop Warner game or whatever game it is, everybody's going pro, right, in their weight class or whatever their age group is, and that kind of thing, when they are running around on the field, and it's really, really good, particularly if you are viewing that in some of the more popular areas where the leagues are wide and vast, where you have hundreds of kids out on a field with several games. You're out there all day, right? However, now, as I had my experiences over the past 7.5 years and kind of taking a look at some things, it really is about coming back to FAMU, how our student athletes can experience a bowl-like experience or something that, if but for this particular event, that they wouldn't experience it. Right? It's not too many times that you get a police escort 2 to 3 days in a row. Now, we get the escorts going to the games, or, when in conference play and that kind of thing. But when you're talking about being able to dress up and go into a room where you have the presidents and CEOs and executive leadership of Fortune 100 companies that they're able to interact with, that they are able to exercise social skills and the like, we want to be able to put them into those opportunities as best we can, right? But also, again, as I mentioned before, to be able to showcase, because what we want FAMU athletics to be is of value to the institution as a whole. When we say that we are broadcasting to millions, and now thanks to streaming, it's evergreen. Like, you can go back and watch the 2023 Orange Blossom Classic right now. You can watch it 20 times if you want to. And so, therefore, you can see any type of footage that we rolled on our academic programs. Sponsors can get evergreen opportunities where those are going to be showcased through streaming platforms. And so, those are the things that we take a look at and that we put in place. And so, if we are going to leave home, it's going to have to benefit the greater good of the institution through sport, because that's what we're looking for, that we are showcasing opportunities at FAMU through our athletics program.
All right.
Let's see. Another good question for you, I think. How many home games in Bragg this year?
5.
Nice.
That 6th game is now our home. We are the home team here in Miami.
Okay. And we are the road team at the Florida Classic?
No. And so this is the 100th game of the Florida Classic, and we are the home team and the host team. And so get ready, Rattlers. This 100th iteration of the Florida Blue Florida Classic is going to be something to remember.
Okay. See, I was going to ask that, but see, you already kind of hinted that there's going to be some fireworks for that one too. That'll be good. Man, Kelvin, we got to start working on our 100 our what do we call it? Our top 100 FAMU players that have played in the Florida Classic. We're going to start working on that list. Okay. So here's a good question related to this marketplace of football season and tickets, and it had to do with hotels. And I think I have the question. I don't know if I have it in particular, but it had to do about any conversations that FAMU, whether it be you, President Beard, anyone, Board of Trustees, that is having with the city of Tallahassee to work with the hotel industry. And even Florida State working for to say, hey, look, we know people are coming, but do the prices have to be 4 times, 5 times the market? I mean, this is what the people are asking. So I just have to ask that. Are those conversations happening?
So, of course, I mean, I lived in that space. I lived in that space in my immediate past life. And as I've shared before, it's not an attack on FAMU, right? It we have 2 Division I programs, football programs in the same mall. It's Tallahassee. There are not very many markets in the country like ours. We're special. And in looking at that, the way that you combat that is you find a way to come to Tallahassee outside of football season, legislative session, and commencement. Because the reason that the rates are that they are is because our neighbors and our parents and our cousins and our sisters, they need to get paid on July 2nd when nobody is in Tallahassee. They need to get paid this weekend on January 30th. And so the way that these for-profit entities have to do that is that you have to project your revenues and be able to pay payroll 26 and a half, however many it is, pay cycles that you have throughout the year. And that's how they have to look at it. So again, it's not an attack on the industry. It's a way to stay open. And so again, coming from the tourism side of things for a minute and taking a look at that and how it gets done. There are weekends when we're not in Tallahassee and our other sister institution is, and the rates are sometimes that and higher. So again, we need Rattler Nation to understand that it's not just an attack on us, right? And then to our family members, and we speak about how difficult it is to get into Tallahassee, but then we marvel, right, at what takes place in Athens, or what takes place in Tuscaloosa, or what takes place in College Station, or what takes place. I can go on, right? When we go to those, you're not flying into Tuscaloosa unless you got your own G5. Right? You're flying into Birmingham and you're driving an hour. Well, at least you can fly into Tallahassee, right? Or you can fly somewhere close thanks to some of the other regional efforts that are there. But we are having the conversation prior to us finalizing the schedule that we will release tomorrow night. I did speak with Florida State University. I had those conversations. I did not settle on our schedule until I received their home schedule. I received their home schedule before they published their home schedule so that we could make sure that we took care of what we needed to take care of for our experience of excellence for our home events as best we could.
Okay. So we feel like there are very few, if any, conflicts this season, which
No, we have some conflicts. I mean,
Okay.
Florida State is playing like 8 home games.
Oh
Right.
wow.
And if we're playing 5,
Yeah.
then there are only so many football weekends, right? So there will be that, but I can tell you we are adding more room nights or more beds to Tallahassee. There are hotels that are going up. There are Airbnb opportunities that are going up. The RV rather community. Shout out to Rick Kinsey and Red and all of them up there, and Mr. Gaines and everybody that's up, in our RV community. Shout out there. We actually are, looking at all of the opportunities for people to be able to come to Tallahassee and have a great experience.
Nice. Nice. A concept that my good friend Keith brings up is about, and I think there's another university that does something similar about creating a system with the ticket of purchase, with the portion of ticket sales going towards NIL. Has that been discussed, explored? Is it something that you feel like could happen this upcoming year? What can you share regarding that concept or that that right there?
Discussed and explored, yes.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
well said.
I've got a question I want to jump in on that I know I hear a lot. We have a lot of attractive games this year in Bragg. Our seating capacity
Allegedly.
is our seating capacity. We have the North End Zone experience. How has there any decision been made on that?
Certainly. And so again, we're definitely coming in, taking a look at the entire experience. I actually have gone into the stadium just on random days and sat in different seats just to kind of because I'm kind of a see it, feel it kind of person. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about game day as I'm, and it looks kind of crazy, but I actually go and sit. I'll sit at the top of section O, or I'll sit, from a student perspective in sections S or section P, or I'll go over and I'll sit even because we have some obstructive view seats, and I'll sit there and try and figure out, well, what are we going to do with this? And see what we can do there. And in the North End Zone as well, taking a look at how we can enhance that experience also. So we definitely are taking a look at all of that. And while it may not be overnight, it definitely is something that we are taking a look at into the future.
Concessions. Is there an opportunity for vendors along with whatever? Can you just talk about what concessions potentially might look like?
Sure. And so one of the things that we look at as it relates to the experience, particularly on game day or anything that goes to your discretionary dollar, right? You want it to be clean. You want it to be safe. You want there to be something that's good and memorable that makes you come back each and every time, right? So good food, right? People come back for good food. There are stadiums across the country that are known for their hot dogs, or that are known for their hamburgers, or that are known for whatever it is, chicken on a stick, whatever it is that you're looking for, right? And so with that, we are definitely having conversations on campus, having conversations in our office internally about what are the memorable.
Uh-oh, did the phone go dead?
No,
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 there she is.
it's
Okay.
just someone called, I think. Am I back?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're back. You're
we
back.
got you.
Okay, so clean and safe cannot be compromised, right?
Yeah.
But what we do to add on to that in the footprint, inside the stadium, outside of the stadium, because really the game day experience starts with whatever it is that we put into you to motivate you from the time you get up. Come on, Rattlers, and come on, everyone. We know that you love something when you lay out your clothes, or And I know layout may not be grammatically correct, but when you hang your clothes out and you decide and you say, "Ooh, I'm gonna kill them in this," right? That you have started your experience, right, in terms of whatever event that you're going to well before you get there, and that's our goal. That's what we're looking for in terms of Rattler Nation, and not just for football, but for all of our events. We want you to leave our Olympic sports, our spring sports. If you come out to softball, baseball, tennis, our bowling team, and any of our events, we want you to leave the Lawson Center. We want you to leave any of our events and say, "Man, I had a good time." When is the next event? That's what we're looking to achieve.
Okay. All right.
Good stuff. Appreciate everybody jumping in the comments. I'm trying to scroll through. Appreciate everybody. Okay, we do know our basketball programs are hot right now. It's a hot ticket. Again, I'm going to reiterate what you said, what we heard Coach Crary talk about earlier in the show. We got a big 4-game, 3-day homestand. Alabama State women tomorrow night at the Lawson. Then the doubleheader against Alabama A&M, 4 and 6 p.m. And then on Monday night, the men, Alabama State. So that's going to be big. But we also have an event the weekend when I guess it's Valentine's weekend, our basketball homecoming. So my good friend Mike Reed asked about any official activities yet taking place for our homecoming doubleheader against Jackson State, because they gonna be fired up. We walked in their house, we took their stripes, so they're fired up. So it's gonna be a fun weekend.
So we look
That's weird.
forward. We look forward to putting out a schedule of events. We're working on that. Once I get back in the morning, we will kind of put a bow on some of those things and be able to release that this weekend as well.
Okay. I see people
Hey,
saying they already.
this one is for Earl.
What, Earl dropped something? Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
she know what's coming. Is the Hill decision on tailgating been made yet?
We are in discussions about our tailgating experience and looking at how we can make sure that everyone can look at tailgating and think back on how it's been and how it's going to be.
The cannon.
Okay, fair enough.
The cannon.
So the cannon, and I know the cannon is a thing. I have a special place in my heart for the cannon. Right now, from a space perspective and our capacity, the area that you need to have surrounding the cannon, because our cannon was a live cannon. When I was here the first time, we would actually drive to Moultrie, Georgia to get the ammo for the cannon to come back, right? Now, no, it's not shooting bullets, that kind of thing. But, but we needed to have a space there. Well, if you noticed, if you were in the stadium, the latter part of the season after we came on board, we've started to activate that space in a different way. We put additional media down in the south end zone. We put a staging area for some of our field presentations down in that area as well. And so we've kind of commandeered the space where the cannon would have been. And so for now, we're going to look at other explosive opportunities, such as the pyro that we had at the beginning of the game, and other ways that we can be celebratory in that way.
Okay. Good stuff. I remember one of the things that you were very much emphasizing was your outreach to the 850 and getting the community, not just in the county, Leon, but the surrounding area. How are those efforts going? And sort of, if you can maybe speak to how the marketing effort and the promotion is going around the Big Bend area. Maybe give us an update on that.
And so with our staff is lean, right, at this point. And with that, we have had outreach. Thank you to Vaughn Wilson and Dr. Jackson with the 220 Quarterback Club for our efforts leading into the Bethune-Cookman basketball game and coming out of the holiday season, right, where many people were away. They were able to help us with radio spots and different things of that nature that were sponsored. And so we're going to have to take a look at that moving forward as well. Reaching out to youth groups, like to share that on Monday and Thursday nights, kids kindergarten through 12th grade under the age of 18 are able to get into our games for free with their school ID or with their parent or what have you. Now, you can't come and pick up a ticket early, but on the night of the game on Mondays and Thursdays, bring the kids out. Have them to enjoy what's going on. With our FHSAA passes as well for our high school coaches and others that have those passes on Mondays and Thursdays, those passes are in effect as well. So come on out and join us there. But for our remaining games, we definitely will be intentional about making sure that we are in those school districts sharing. I was in Gaston County this past weekend and shared with some educators there about the opportunities to come over and enjoy our games. And we definitely are reaching out and will continue to expand that reach as we move forward.
Good stuff. Kelvin, you got anything else? I want to be mindful of your time because I know it's late, and I know you mentioned something about being back in Tallahassee. So I'm like, okay, I know you would be nice.
Besides, she's got people calling her. She's been very generous.
I see that. People are calling, blowing the phone up.
I do have a few more questions, but we can get to them another time. She's answered the main ones.
Yeah. A lot of questions we'll talk about offline, and maybe we'll kind of table them for another session. I think we hit a lot of the stuff out of the ballpark tonight. With the start of softball and baseball, what will admission be? This from Jimmy Mack. Will there be an admission fee for the softball and baseball games to raise revenue this season?
Not at this time. And so let me get a little bit into that, right? So when you talk about putting a ticket on a gate, that means that you have to have a player guest will call. And so with our seating capacity in terms of looking at that, with as well as anytime that you are collecting money or anything that has a monetary value, now you're looking at security and other expenses that may not have been or that were not budgeted. But back to the player guest list, with the numbers that we have on our rosters currently, and if each of those kids were given the same number of tickets that our other sports are given, and that's what is fair, right? Then our seats are gone. And so as it relates to, if you're looking at 25, 20 student athletes times 4, if you've been to our baseball or our softball fields, the amount of the capacity that we have left to be able to sell the juice isn't necessarily worth the squeeze at this time, but it is something that we are taking a look at. Now, what we may do is put QR codes up for you to be able to donate to these programs and for you to be able to invest in excellence as it relates to what we're doing to move those programs forward from a student athlete and program perspective.
I'm asking here before I venture down this road just to ask this question. Were you listening earlier in the show? Did you happen to catch any of our conversation with Coach Shute?
I did not.
Okay, so I am not going to ask. I'm going to not ask the question then, Kelvin. I don't want to get my guy in trouble.
No, go ahead and ask it. Coach Shute, all the coach. I love all our coaches, and so there isn't anything that would get them in trouble.
I know I'm messing. So Coach Shute, who we love Coach. He mentioned that there's a possibility of playing a series at the end of the season. We do play Alcorn of that possibly moving to Minneapolis for a
Absolutely.
series up there. Anything you can share on to the status of that?
Certainly. And so we are definitely looking at that. The alumni leadership there in the Minneapolis St. Paul chapter, they are definitely excited about this possibility. The Minnesota Twins and the St. Paul Saints, which is their AAA league, they have presented an opportunity. It is Alcorn's home game. And so as we work through the details of that, that conversation is happening. It is a conference game. So it right now that game is scheduled to be at Alcorn. If we are able to get to a space and we're able to appeal to the conference to move the game, because we are able to do that, then it's definitely a conversation that is being had. There, and it's a great opportunity. We've been there before. AD Dwayne Robinson, that's there at Alcorn, has been at FAMU, and we spoke about Rattlers that have kids that went to FAMU. His daughter is a FAMU grad, Beta Alpha initiate, I should say. But back on topic, AD Robinson and I were fortunate to go to Boston when our Rattler baseball team played North Carolina Central in a similar situation. So he and I both understand this scenario. We understand this opportunity. We understand, again, back to the student athlete experience. The same thing that we talked about football. For our guys to be able to play in a major league park as well as a AAA park, to be able, some of them for the first time, to travel that far and to go into the land of the purple in Paisley Park, we definitely are taking a look at if that is something that is doable for this year. But it comes back particularly to the student athlete experience.
Okay.
Good stuff. Jimmy Mack wants to know if you have made plans to come down to Vero Beach for the Andre Dawson Classic. Will you have an opportunity to get down there?
It's too
I'm
early.
try- I'm trying to work it out. Definitely looking at how we can make that work. Mr. Dawson and I worked together several times when I was with the Florida Sports Foundation. We were able to create a great relationship. We're super excited to have that event here in Florida. It's been in New Orleans for quite some times, and for it to come back to Florida. And Mr. Dawson is my guy, so I've got to try and figure out a way to make it happen if we can, for sure.
All right. AD Suggs, I want to let you know you have a great group of coaches, an outstanding group of student athletes, yes. And man, it is a pleasure to always be able to talk to them. Because I'm sure just like you, we hear a lot of Rattler Nation with questions, and so whenever we get shows like this where we can talk basketball, baseball, track, the stuff going on with the administrative things that go on with what you do in basket and football, it's a real pleasure. It's an honor to be able to bring all of this information and all these amazing people that you get to work with to Rattler Nation. So I want to give you the last word, however you want to use it to let Rattler Nation to know what they need to do next and where they need to go to do it and see it.
Thank you so much, Bryan. And before I close things out, if you all have seen me squinting and my family, they know. So I am farsighted. So I'm on a phone and the phone is near. And so usually I have the phone way out here so that I can see. And so that's where the squinting is coming from. But I am always excited to come on and share with you all. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Rattler Nation, to everyone that is on the call. Thank you, HBCU Nation. Thank you, the Fan Nation, because I know that there are others that are on here, and some of the things that we share, right, we have in common. And so while we brag about the things that we have going on, some of the things that we're talking about impact everyone across the diaspora of HBCU, Division One, FCS, Division Two, HBCU landscape as it relates to intercollegiate athletics. As this thing changes, we are a community that will have to lock arms to be able to do this together. I'm honored to serve. This definitely is not a sprint. It's something that we have to do. You know, the good definitely outweighs any type of challenges that we have, and we just want to say thank you. So thank you for what you've done, what you're doing right now, and definitely for what you're going to do. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. We look forward to an exciting announcement at halftime, seeing you this weekend, and seeing you in the near future. Thank you so much, and fangs up.
Amen. Things up. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And safe travels back home. Be well.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Take care.
All righty. Thanks, guys. All righty.
Right. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than our 19th athletic director, VP of Intercollegiate Athletics. This is Angela.